Lauren set a plate in front of me without looking up from her phone. Steak, oversalted, cold in the middle. She slid the fork across the table with 2 fingers like I was another bill to pay and said, "I'm wiped. Eat if you want." "Rough day?" I asked. "Deadlines," she said, flipping the screen face down. "Don't start." I asked one question. She stood, took her plate, and walked it to the sink. "I need a shower." So that was dinner. A month earlier, she would have checked in, asked about my crew, laughed at my bad joke. Lately it was this, thin ice over a quiet lake. I cleaned my own plate, put the leftovers in a container, and caught the faintest scent on her sweater when she passed behind me. Not her usual scent. Not soap. Something I didn't recognize. If I'd known where it was headed, I'd tell a friend later. I would have set the table with paper plates that night and saved the good ones for after. The next morning I left early. When I came back that evening, the house had that hotel feel, everything in place, no sign of life. She came in late, heels in her hand, phone in the other. "You look like you slept in the office," I said. "Close enough. Don't start." "I'm not starting. I'm here. You're the one who's never home." "Because I'm doing something," she said, brushing past me. "We can't all clock out at 5 like you." "Right," I said. "Someone has to hold the couch down." "What is your problem?" She finally looked at me. The sharpness in her eyes wasn't new, but tonight it carried a dare. "My problem." I leaned against the island. "Something's off." "I'm asking what it is." "Work," she repeated, the same way you tell a dog to sit. "It'll pass." "Put your phone down for 5 minutes then," I suggested. She kissed the air. "Cute." The phone landed face down again. "Don't be controlling." I laughed once. "Control? I'm asking for your face, not your passcode." "God," she said, heading to the bedroom. "You know what? I can't." When the door closed, I stared at the silent living room and made a decision. I wasn't auditioning for attention in my own house. So the next day I adjusted the schedule. Mine, not hers. First change, dinners. I'd kept waiting for her to show up and be present, like we promised each other in the first years. That week I decided to cook for 1 at 6. If she wanted in, she could join without ceremony. If not, the food got labeled, the kitchen went clean, and the evening moved along. No speeches, no sulk. Second change, shared calendar. I split it. Our joint one kept the non-negotiables: mortgage draft, utilities, the nephew's birthday. My time blocked out on my own. She could see my Saturday morning run and my brother's barbecue invitation if I chose to show it. Not as punishment, as clarity. If she lived by work first, fine. I'd live by no gray areas. Third, budget. We had 1 pot for the house and 2 for us. Lately, the house pot kept buying dinners for 2 at 10 p.m. and ride shares that weren't mine. I cut the house card back to essentials. Everything outside groceries and bills got a conversation. I sent her a text. "House card stays for house. If you need something for us, let me know before you swipe." She read it and sent back a thumbs up. Fine by me. I prefer clear signals. 2 days later, I was locking the door for work when the neighbor across the hall, Martha, cracked her door open. Martha's a retired school secretary who knows every license plate in the complex. "Morning, Ethan," she said. "Morning." She lowered her voice like we were in a library. "I don't want to meddle." "You're about to," I said. She smiled, then didn't. "Your wife comes home around lunch the last few days." "Lunch? With a gentleman," she said, and checked the hall again. "Same car. He waits in the lot." She waves him in. "I figured you were working from home." I kept my face still. "No." "Could be innocent," she added quickly. "I just don't want you surprised." "Appreciate it," I said. The elevator doors opened, and I stepped in. The steel felt colder than usual. Driving to the job site, I argued with myself like a teenager. Maybe he's a contractor. Maybe she's showing a friend the new paint. Maybe Martha needs a hobby. Then I remembered that unfamiliar scent on her sweater and the way her phone never left her hand, even on the way to the bathroom. "Work," she'd said, as if the letters themselves were sacred. Maybe. I called my friend Ray, who runs cameras at his hobby level like some people collect stamps. "I need 2 standalones," I told him. "No cloud. Motion detect. I want the footage on a physical drive." Ray whistled. "You're rolling security?" "Peace of mind," I said. "I'll swing by at lunch." He didn't ask why. He's a grown man. He can fill in blanks. That night, I cooked at 6, ate alone at 6:15, cleaned the kitchen at 6:30, and went to the garage. I mounted a small camera in the hallway, flush to the crown molding. One in the living room, tucked behind the planter. I set them to capture movement and write to a thumb drive. The blinking red dot felt like a lifeguard whistle in an empty pool. She got home at 9:30, hair damp, makeup perfect. Wow, she said, looking at the counter. No leftovers. I put them away, I said. Labels on the container. She fished out her phone. I'm starving. Help yourself. You didn't wait. I ate at 6, I said. In case you wanted to know. I shut off the pendant lights. We can talk at breakfast. She lifted an eyebrow. You making breakfast now? I'm making boundaries. She smiled without humor. That's adorable. The next morning, she changed tactics. Pancakes, real ones. Bacon. Music low. Her phone nowhere in sight. She moved around the kitchen like we used to, fast, efficient, knocking pans with the back of her hand. You're up early, I said. Thought I'd spoil you. She said, plating me 3 pancakes. I've been off. You're right. About what? I cut a bite. About me checking out, she said. Work's been a mess. I took it out on you. I'm sorry. Apology accepted, I said. She studied my face. No lecture. Not my hobby. I poured syrup. What does it look like when you're back in? She exhaled. Nights are still rough. But I'll be present when I'm home. Presence beats perfection, I said. It came out like a slogan, but I meant it. She smiled quick, like a student pleased to get the right answer. Then the phone on the counter buzzed. Her hand froze. She turned its screen down and pushed the plate closer to me. Eat while it's hot. I ate. So did she. Music played. We moved through a normal morning like 2 actors hitting marks. When she left, I watched the door close and told myself not to overthink an apology. People correct. People regress. I had my system. Dinner at 6, calendar split, house card lean. That would tell me more than a speech. At lunch I drove home. The rooms were silent again, the clock in the kitchen ticking like it was counting me. I took the thumb drive from the living room camera and slid it into my laptop at the table. The video lit up, 11:56 a.m. Our front door opens. Lauren steps in, not alone. He follows. Tall, late 30s, familiar jacket. He walks like he belongs wherever he is. They go straight to the living room, talking low. My living room. He leans close. She presses a hand to his chest and laughs. He handles his phone like he'll set a timer. He doesn't. It doesn't take long. The camera keeps watching. When it ends, he leaves first. She wipes the counter like it owes her money, fixes her hair in the reflection of the dark TV, and walks out. I sat very still. Then I rewound and played it again, looking closer at his face. Recognition clicked like a seatbelt. Greg, who married her sister, Emily. Greg, who held my grill at Christmas last year and told me my brisket was a spiritual experience. Greg, who fist bumped me and called me brother in that sticky way some men think inoculates them from accountability. Greg. I closed the laptop and looked at the bowl on the counter, the one holding her spare house keys. My hands were calm, which surprised me. I took the drive out and put it in a small envelope. Then I scrolled to Emily's name. We met at Pike Diner at 2:30. Emily came in fast, hair in a clip, eyes bright. She's younger than Lauren, a school counselor, the genuine kind who remembers birthdays. She hugged me like we were at a funeral. What's wrong? She asked, sliding into the booth. Your text freaked me out. I set the envelope between us. Take a breath. Ethan, please. Lauren's been bringing someone home at lunch, I said. Today I saw who. Her face tightened. Who? I didn't drag it out. I opened the laptop and slid the screen so she could see without attracting the entire diner. When Greg's face crossed into frame, her hand flew to her mouth. Her eyes watered not like a child, but like someone whose reality just lost a screw. No, she whispered. No, he said. She stopped. Her hands were shaking. She grabbed a napkin and set it under them like they needed a landing pad. This is your house. Yeah. I can't, she swallowed hard. For how long? Long enough for patterns, I said. I don't know the start date. I know the present. She nodded, then shook her head, then nodded again. I'm sorry, she said. That's a stupid thing to say. It's not. She stared at the table. I thought we were good. We see your side of the family. We host game night. We plan a small trip in the spring. He's always busy, but he comes home. Busy, I said. She sobbed once, a clean sound that hit the salt shaker and stopped. What are you going to do? I reached into my bag and put another envelope on the table. This is a copy for you. Use it how you want. I'm filing to end it. She looked at me then like she recognized a language she didn't want to use but needed to hear. You're sure? I don't run a court, I said. But I run my house. He came into my house. She pressed her lips together and nodded. What do you need from me? Nothing, I said. If you want help, call. If you don't, don't. Either way, I'm not sitting on it. We sat quiet for a minute. The server brought coffee without asking. Emily took a sip like it would keep her from tipping over. I hate that it's you telling me, she said finally. I hate that you had to see it. I hate that he picked the easy route, I said. We both know people take shortcuts when they think the road is theirs. She closed the laptop. Thank you. I paid and left her with the envelope. In the truck, I called my attorney friend, not to start a war, just to get logistics straight. Then I called a locksmith. Then I drove to the bank and adjusted access. I wasn't smashing plates. I was labeling shelves. At 5, my project manager, Nora, waved me into her office. You look like someone dragged you over a gravel road, she said. Long day. You still coming to the couple's night Saturday? She asked. It's a small tradition. Backyard fire, co-workers and spouses, cornhole, cheap beer. Good people mostly. Change of plan, I told her. I'll swing by solo. I'm done fronting for optics. Nora watched me for a beat. You want me to pretend I don't know that means something? Pretend it's because I'm better at corn toss when I don't have to do small talk. She smirked. You always lose. Exactly, I said. No distractions this time. On my way home, I picked up Ty for one. At the door across the hall, Martha's peephole shadow shifted. I gave the hallway a tiny salute. Thank you, uninvited guardian. Lauren was already there. Lights on, soft music, the house looking like a listing photo. She'd lit a candle. She wore that blue blouse she knows fits her best. Ty, she said. You didn't text. I ate at 6, I said, setting the bag on the counter. I was going to cook. She slipped her hands into my sleeves like she used to. I was a mess this week. I noticed. I'm sorry, she said, eyes lifted. It wasn't the same apology as the pancakes. This one was warmer, practiced. She pressed her cheek to my chest and stayed there. I miss us. I slid my arms around her because I'm not made of stone, but I didn't lean into the script. What do you want to change? Everything, she said quickly. I can cut back at work. We can plan a weekend. I'll put my phone away at night. Good start, I said. And lunch. She looked up, confused. Lunch. Your schedule, I said. Are you in the building around noon? Mostly, she said. Why? Curiosity, I said. She laughed a little. You're in a mood. Yep. I stepped back. Eat while it's warm. I already did. She searched my face for a fight and didn't find it. She ate on the couch. We watched a crime show. Her phone stayed in the kitchen. I gave her the white space to correct. But my decisions were already moving. Saturday, I'd go to Nora's alone. Sunday, I'd change the locks. Monday, I'd sign papers. At Nora's backyard, I arrived with a cooler and no +1. Where's Lauren? Ray asked, tossing me a bag. She's got a work thing, I said. I'm off duty. Nora raised an eyebrow at me over the grill. You okay? I'm taking a little distance, I answered. Nothing to see. Plenty to see, Ray said. You just don't want witnesses. Exactly, I said, and sank a beanbag clean through the board. Watch me dominate. Halfway through the evening, Lauren texted, You should have told me you went. I could have come after my call. I typed, I'm good. Catch you tomorrow. She replied with a heart. Then, 5 minutes later, a selfie in our kitchen, wine glass, the candle again. A caption, hurry home. I pocketed the phone. Nora watched me for a second. Boundaries, she said. Clarity, I corrected. Boundaries sound like a fence. This is a line on the ground. When I got home, the candle was burned low. Lauren was in bed, lights off, phone charging on her nightstand. Face up, a small performance. I showered and slept on my side of the bed, the way you do when you respect geography. The morning after, I took the envelope with the flash drive and a simple folder and set them on the kitchen table. Then I waited. She came in late that night, shoes off, toes making soft sounds on the hardwood. She didn't see me at first, The house was dim, quiet. "Hey," she said. "Evening." She jumped a little. "You scared me." "Sit," I told her. Her eyes flicked to the folder, then to me. "What's going on? Who came over at lunch today?" I asked. "Nobody," she said. "What kind of question is that?" "The kind that gets clear answers," I said. "Try again." She smiled like I'd told a joke that didn't land. "Ethan, I'm not doing this." "When was the last time you were here with someone else?" She laughed, short, high. "Are you serious? You tracking my steps now?" "I put cameras in the hall and living room," I said. "2 days ago." Her face drained of color. She didn't grab for the phone. She grabbed the back of the chair like it might tell her what to say. "You can't, that's..." "What's illegal?" I said, calm as a Sunday. "Is bringing your brother-in-law into my house." She blinked. "What?" "I met Emily at Pike Diner," I said. I showed her. "You did what?" Her voice cracked and then flattened. "You're lying." I slid the flash drive across the table. "You'll need this for your personal archive." She didn't reach for it. "You're misreading things." "Am I?" "You don't know context," she insisted. "I know my living room," I said. "And I know Greg." The name hit her like I'd opened a window in winter. She sat down slowly. "You told Emily?" "This afternoon." What did she say?" "What any decent person says when her life gets hit by a truck," I said. She listened. She took the evidence. "She'll choose her next step." Lauren's eyes filled. "Ethan, No speeches," I cut in. "It's over. The folder is the paperwork. I signed my part. You'll sign yours tomorrow." "This is insane," she said, shaking her head. "We can fix this." "We can." "No," I said. "We can't. Lines exist. The cameras." "The cameras kept me from playing detective in my head," I said. "They kept me from turning into a man I don't like. That's their only job." She wiped her face with her sleeve. "I'm begging you to think. We have a life. People think we're solid. People think a lot of things." "I was lost," she said. "I'm back now. I made pancakes, You managed optics," I said. "You're good at it. You gave me just enough to stay seated." "That's done." She stood up fast. "So you're throwing us away over a mistake." "I'm ending a dynamic that ended me," I said. "You have 24 hours to pack what you want to move yourself. After that, I'll have a service move whatever's left to storage for 30 days. You can't do this." "I already did some of it," I said. "House card stays house. Locks change tomorrow at noon. Utilities stay, out of respect for timelines, but the accounts split by Friday." "You're cruel," she said. "I'm exact," I answered. She covered her face. "What am I supposed to tell people?" "The truth," I said. "Or a version that saves you face. I'm not running a press conference. I'm closing a chapter." She stared at me, searching for the chink. "So that's it. You don't even want to hear why." "I heard the only part that mattered," I said, and tapped the flash drive. "And I heard the door close after." "I hate you," she whispered. "You don't," I said. "You hate that you lost control." She grabbed her phone and her bag, then stopped at the door, voice softer. "Ethan, please. We have history. We'll keep the part where I remember what I won't tolerate," I said. "That's useful history." When the door shut, the house finally matched the way it had felt for months, quiet for the right reasons. In the morning, I texted Emily. "He knows now?" She sent back, "Yes. I'm with my sister." She didn't finish the sentence, and she didn't need to. A few hours later, I filed. "Thank you for telling me before I found out the hard way." Lauren came back around noon with boxes and a friend I didn't know well, a woman with tight lips and busy hands. I kept distance. I didn't stop them. I didn't help. I changed the locks at 1:30. Simple, procedural, without grandstanding. She took clothes, shoes, a framed photo, 2 mugs I never liked. The friend shot me a look like I'd left a dog in the ring. When they were done, Lauren stood at the threshold, hair pulled back, face set. "You'll regret this." "I regret staying past the first broken promise," I said. "I don't regret leaving now." She nodded like she was adding that to a list and walked out. The next weeks were logistics. People always think the end is dramatic every second. It isn't. It's calls and passwords and forwarding mail and changing who pays the internet bill. It's moving a couch because it carries too many ghosts. It's deleting the couple's playlist so the house can breathe. It's telling my brother and his wife in plain terms and watching them process without picking sides. It's texting Nora, "I won't bring plus ones for a while." Her response, bring your appetite. We'll keep a chair open. Lauren tried one more angle a week later. She showed up on a Sunday afternoon with groceries. I thought I'd cook, she said, holding up a bag. One last time. Closure. That's not a real thing, I said. We're closed. Please, she said softly. I want to do something decent here. I opened the door wider and pointed at the bag. Drop it. I'll eat. You'll go. She put the bag on the counter, hands lingering on the top like it was a baby. You won't even talk? We're done talking, I said. We're signing. She stepped closer. Ethan, I loved you. Maybe in your way, I said. In my house, love shows up. It doesn't set a timer. She swallowed, nodded, and left. I put the groceries away like you do after a neighbor leaves a casserole when your dad passes. It's a kindness with no future attached. At work, I took more jobs. It wasn't an escape, it was a lane. I redid a small church lobby, then a dentist's office. Nora handed me the projects and got out of the way. You're better when you're busy, she said. I'm better when I'm building something that doesn't talk back, I replied. A month out, I heard through the family chain that Greg moved into a rental near his gym. Emily changed her ringtone to silence and started running with a group at the lake. She sent me a picture of the sunrise with a caption, "It helps." I replied, "Good." That was the whole conversation, and it was enough. By the time the papers were finalized, the house felt like mine again. The hallway where the camera had watched became just a hallway. The living room was a place to read and watch a game without reading a mood. I bought a used pickup I'd wanted for years and fixed the tailgate myself. On Fridays, I had ribs with Ray and Nora and whoever else showed. On Sundays, I sat on the porch with coffee and didn't wait for a door to open. One evening in early fall, I ran into Martha at the mailboxes. She touched my arm in that brisk way older women have. You handled it, she said. I did. I was worried you'd explode, she said. Men do. I have a breaker panel, I said. I shut it off. She laughed. Good for you. A few months later, I met someone, not on purpose. Rachel runs a small landscaping outfit. She showed up for a bit on my backyard and ended up sketching out a plan on the back of an envelope. She talks like a foreman and listens like a friend. We kept it simple. Weeknight dinners. No performance. Phones on the counter, face up, ignored. When she left, no dangling. One night, Rachel saw the ring box still in the junk drawer when she was looking for a rubber band. You want me to pretend I didn't see that? She asked. That would be kind, I said. She leaned on the island. You doing okay? I am now, I said. I wasn't for a while. I let too much slide. She tapped the drawer shut with her hip. Sliding is for playgrounds. We laughed. We ate. We didn't try to fix each other because we weren't broken. We were just two adults who'd done some math. At Thanksgiving, Emily came by my brother's with a pie and an easy smile that I didn't recognize from before. She hugged me like a teammate. You look good, she said. I feel like a human again. I moved, she told me. Closer to school. It's small and mine. Good. Greg keeps texting, she added without drama. He will for a while, I said. Then he'll stop. She nodded. I don't answer. We watched the kids destroy the living room with a fort made of couch cushions. My brother handed me a beer. You coming fishing next Saturday? He asked. I am, I said. No +1. Just us. Perfect, he said. Lauren? I heard she moved across town. She took on more work. She still smiles on social media like a billboard. Sometimes she sends an email about a stray bill or a package that accidentally landed at her new place. I keep it transactional. No malice. No warmth. We're not enemies. We're not anything. People love to ask if I ever got even. I tell them I did the adult version. I took back my time, my name on the mailbox, my piece. I took away the comfort and the script. I removed the stage where the play kept running. The only line I rehearsed was the one I left her with in the kitchen that night when I closed the folder and stood up. We're done, I said then. Not because you didn't say the right words. Because I don't live under a roof where respect is optional. It landed. It had to. She lost the one thing she'd been managing all along, control of the story. Now it's just mine. Not dramatic. Not grand. Just clean. Most nights I get home at 6, cook at 6:30, eat at 7. Sometimes Rachel's there, sometimes not. When she is, we talk about things that exist. When she isn't, I read, or I fix something small that's been broken and no one noticed. And when I lock the door, it isn't a jail. It's a choice. I didn't win anything flashy. I didn't need to. I walked out with my spine straight, my name clear, and my standards higher than they were when I walked in. That's enough. And if anyone asks why I didn't fight harder to keep a picture on the wall that wasn't real anymore, I point to the fresh paint and the quiet, and the way my phone can sit face up on the table all night without me watching it like it might bite. That's what I kept. That's what I'll keep.